Blackjack's Gaming Resort. How will your night play out?
You never know what kind of weather Mother Nature has planned. Be ready in a 4x4 or all-wheel drive from Denny Menlo Toyota. Shop a great selection of used trucks and sport utilities and the area's best selection of used Toyotas and Toyota certified pre-owned. Get financing as low as 4.99% APR for up to 72 months on certified pre-owned, including RAV4s. See us at Denny Menlo Toyota or DennyMenloToyota.com. 1610 for 1,000 finance regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit expires 3/2/26.
Doesn't matter where your ride's from. At Al's D&I, we baby them, every single one. Got a ride from across the pond? No worries. Let the ASE certified pros at Al's D&I pamper your pride and joy. Foreign or domestic, maintenance or repair. Doesn't matter if it requires special parts or tools or if its owner's manual is in another language. At Al's D&I, we don't care where your ride's from, but we do take great care to treat your ride like it is our own. Drive on in to Al's D&I, Sturgis Road, and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
NFL teams have until March 3rd to place the franchise tag on players, and it looks like Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons is headed for the tag. Multiple reports say that the Falcons will use the franchise tag on Pitts. If he signs it and plays under the one-year deal, it would be worth $16 million next season. Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones said the team is leaning on placing the franchise tag on wide receiver George Pickens. Rams officially announced their staff for next year. It includes Cliff Kingsbury, who will serve as the assistant head coach under Sean McVay. Ohio State signed defensive coordinator Matt Patricia to a deal. He'll be back in 2026. In the NBA, Utah Jazz center Yusuf Nurkic done for the year. He needs surgery on his nose, according to insider Chris Haynes. ESPN says Dylan Brooks' timetable to return from his broken hand is about 4 to 6 weeks. Duke's the new number 1 in the AP Top 25 College Hoops poll following their win over former number 1 Michigan. Wolverines dropped the 3rd. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Glad you're here. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show ready to go. We are live on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Appreciate our affiliates and thank you for making this show possible. All of our listeners on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, also here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome in. It is always a great day in South Dakota. Let's bring it a little bit. The Nate Brown Show back and ready. You can listen to us on Fox Sports Radio, also on your drive home. And then you can bring us up on Twitter if you're still at the office grinding. You're grinding. Bring us up on Twitter. It's almost the end of the day, right? You're good to go. Follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. We're on X right now. Follow us, watch us live at Nate Brown Show, the stream. Also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Find us, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that. Live shows and archive shows. Everybody's there. The Nate Brown Show YouTube channel. And finally, Midwest Sports Plus. Shout out to our partners at Midwest Sports Plus, the live high school sports streaming app, all games, all season, and the Nate Brown Show on Midwest Sports Plus. If you don't have the new app, download it on your phone. You've got this show live and the best games in South Dakota. We've got a good one tonight on a Monday. What a weekend, huh? Olympics wrap up with the big-time victory for the USA. Absolutely phenomenal yesterday morning. I hope you checked that out. Now, I think you're in the minority if you didn't check that out. Were you up early? I know Sunday, church, you gotta do all that stuff. I know you got lives, but I was watching it. We tuned it in, just saw that winner. I didn't watch the whole thing. So I'm one of those guys, I'm starting to watch. It's 1-0, 1-1. and then it was a showdown, the 3v3 in OT, and what a win for the USA. It brings you back to the 1980 year. That's what's so big about that. So we got good stuff. We're going to hit on that a little bit. Golden goal and a gold medal for the USA hockey team. That was outstanding. USA women won the same thing. We've got some Olympics to discuss really in the big picture here. So let's get to it on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Who's coming up? Brian Noah's in. I know he was watching, wasn't he? Was he up early in Las Vegas, really early? Brian Noah's coming up, Fox Sports Radio national host. He's in on a Monday. We'll go to Omaha tonight, talk to Gary Sharp, Omaha play-by-play man, sports broadcaster for a long time in Nebraska. Gary Sharp's in tonight. Jason Andera back on a Monday, talking high school hoops. The countdown is on. Postseason starting for some schools this week. Girls basketball postseason. Can you believe it? Jason Andera's coming up, SDPB Sports, and we'll go to Sioux Falls Lincoln head boys basketball coach Luke Hanneman. He has an undefeated team in the AA ranks. Lincoln was trying to win the state title last year. They got clipped by Mitchell. Can they run the table? They have so far, so good. Luke Hanneman coming up. Some close games for the Patriots. We'll talk to the Sioux Falls Lincoln undefeated team head coach, Coach Hanneman coming up. Busy Monday show from high school to college to the pros. A lot to discuss. We're back and ready with you. 605-720-1067 is our number. If you want to join us on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, do that. 605-720-1067. That is the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. A couple of great locations, East River, East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Drop by this week. The location in Brandon's outstanding. Home of everyone's favorite buffet. Remember it. Let them do the cooking for you. The Pizza Ranch Buffet your way. Barron's Wilson text line open as well, 605-720-1067. That is the text line. If you can't call the show, you can text the show. We appreciate that. Join the conversation, 605-720-1067. That is the Barron's Wilson text line. Okay. Now let's talk an interesting story of these Olympics. The biggest story for this Reaction Monday is the USA men defying all odds. And I know they're pros and the whole thing, but Canada had the upper hand. Canada's the hockey play. I mean, the whole story. I'm not a hockey fanatic. You guys should know this. So I didn't play hockey. I understand the game. I watch the games. I don't sit here and watch every NHL game. And so I'm a hockey, what do you want to call it, bandwagoner? Would you call me that? But you, of course, are watching the USA-Canada in the gold medal match, right? You're watching that gold medal game. So this was an outstanding story, and I think you can't just say, well, that was that was a fun one. That was a good story. That's a massive story. So right reaction on this Monday is huge story. First time the USA wins gold since 1980. That's just off the charts. And I think everybody's been paying attention to that. Well, here's an interesting one with that gold medal yesterday. So here's USA won the most medals, the most gold medals ever at the Winter Olympics. So this is something I'm thinking about. People have been throwing it out. It's like the USA, they won women's hockey, they won men's hockey. Those are the big stories today. Here's the story behind the Olympics. And we haven't hit a lot of Olympics on this show. It's usually you watch it, it's on at night, you watch the primetime stuff, the whole thing. That caught the whole country yesterday morning. So it was just massive, and it's going to go on for this week. So that's a historic victory yesterday. Canada was whining about the 3v3 at the end. It's all good. You win the game. You got to play to win the game. The USA wins it. End of story. That's it. We got it. See ya. And here's what we did. Most gold medals at a Winter Olympics ever. For the U.S. We beat our mark on gold medals. So I'm starting to think, why would this be? Now, let's go to the team, the country that led the entire Winter Olympics, and they just have taken off. Hasn't always been this way, but as of late, who is the number one country at the Winter Olympics? Have you guys followed this? Small country of Norway. I am a Norwegian from my long family history. I'm an American. Don't worry. I am my dad's family Norwegian. And I'm starting to think, where did these guys start taking control of the Winter Olympics? So here's what it is. USA wins most gold medals we ever have at a Winter Olympics. Norway won even more, a record for them as well. 41 overall medals, 18 golds. 18 golds for the tiny country of Norway. It's the population of Minnesota. Think about that. Speaking of Norwegians in Minnesota, it's the population of Minnesota. So here's the story I want to start with today. This gets into what we've discussed on this show a little bit. People are comparing what is the USA sports model, what is the youth sports model. Can we have success on the global stage like Summer Olympics, we rock and roll. Winter Olympics, we've always been, I don't know. We're not at the top. We're in the mix. We're not at the top. Well, we just got our most gold medals ever. So World Cup's coming up this summer. Soccer, can we get there at all? The Men's World Cup, we've always struggled and just can't get in the mix with the big boys. And so people talk about what is our youth sports model and how does it work for the highest levels of competition. Now, Norway thinks this is what they've got. They have a youth sports model where 9 out of 10 kids play youth sports. Those are the numbers. So 9 out of 10 kids play youth sports in Norway. I'm going to ask this question of the day, and then we'll dig into some stuff tonight. So if you think, hey, wait, tiny country in Norway wins all of this stuff. Well, it's the Winter Olympics. They got cold weather and snow and mountains and skis, and that's what they do. Well, Norway's even started winning a little bit in the Summer Olympics. I mean, they've had some gold medalists in the Summer Olympics in some of these sports, which has surprised me. So let me ask you about this. How is their youth sports model? Is their youth sports model better than what we've got going? Does Norway's success in the Olympics have anything to do with their youth sports model? Do you believe that at all? Or it's what it is. Kids playing sports at a young age, that's great, but it's not correlating to Norway all of a sudden winning the Winter Olympics far and away, most gold medals ever, most medals ever. That doesn't correlate. Let me ask you that question of the day, because if you would say this is the youth sports model in America, what is it? It's massive. So it's a billions and billions of dollar industry. It's a bigger industry by far than the NFL, which is number one in this country. But the youth sports industry is off the charts. And so the money, the investment, the time, the everything is off the charts when it comes to U.S. youth sports investment. Yet, a little country the size of Minnesota still beats us overall in the Winter Olympics. Why is that? People would make the argument today, Norway has 9 out of 10 kids playing because, and here's what they have, they don't do competitive sports until age 11. What do I mean by that? They don't keep score. They have like local sports games, okay? And all kids play. All kids have access. It's none of this, you're on this team, you're on this team, we're traveling here, we're going there. Local teams, local games. I was looking into this today. No scorekeeping until 11. And I can hear everybody on South Dakota Sports Talk Show saying, oh, give me a break. Give me a break. You need to tell kids if they've won or lost. You need to tell them, well, this is what that's their model. Norway's model is we are going to do it like this, where we have no scores recorded or standings until age 11, none of the national championship tournament stuff. They don't do like U12 national championships where you travel to this city and that city and you win some league that then they say you're a national champion. They do start doing championships in the country at age 13. So it's not all like just soft as soft can be, but they think that's the model that allows kids to play, more kids to play. Does that correlate to them taking control of the Winter Olympics? It's an interesting thought to me because Norway says they prioritize all kids playing. Doesn't matter the expense side of this. They've invested in it like as a country. Like their country's like, hey, we're going to have all these kids do all these sports. 9 out of 10 kids do some sport at a young age. That's a wild number. We don't have that number in this country. But people would say, well, it's because you got to mainly pay for this and pay for that. There's some rec leagues. In South Dakota, we have some pretty good rec leagues, I think. But you go to different cities, you go to massive populations. Is there enough access? Is there enough rec leagues, meaning everybody can play? Are kids still playing in backyards, wiffle ball tournaments, and the whole thing? That's the type of stuff. So they say their approach has aligned and all kids play. And would you say that correlates to them winning the most medals in the Winter Olympics? Give me your shot on that. 605-720-1067 is the Barons Wilson text line. Norway won the most medals in the history of the Winter Olympics. They have 9 out of 10 kids that play youth sports. Is that related? Do you believe that is related? 605-720-1067. Listener text from Matt. It does matter. It's related because they keep it recreational until age 12 to 13. Yeah. So I was pointing this out. In this country, I think for the most part, when you go the travel sports route, you're going competitive hard. I mean, you're going really, really hard. You got U8 games that are competitive as heck. I mean, you guys have seen this. You go to tournaments. I mean, I don't care whatever sport it is. You got U8 games. They're going hard. And so in Norway, they say, no, we're not. I mean, we're all playing, but the kids don't know the score. The kids don't know who wins and loses. They just keep playing. And then 9 out of 10, 90% of the kids play youth sports. Does that correlate to them winning the Winter Olympics? That's my question of the day. What do you say? What's the percentage on our poll question so far? 89% of you voting saying, yes, the Norway youth model makes a difference. 89%. 11% say you can't relate the two. It is what it is. Listener text coming in. They focus on fundamentals and working on their craft rather than playing a bunch of games. As a person that gets older and stronger, they have a foundation, solid foundation. I think it is related. Let's see here. Listener text coming in. It has to be related. Otherwise, Norway wouldn't have such a great sports culture. So it's interesting. I think people can point to various things. Think about how small Norway is, and they won that much. Isn't that interesting how big we are? We're huge. And we won the most golds we've ever won. We had a great Winter Olympics. We're a huge country. And maybe it's, it might not be specialized. Maybe we're not all downhill skiers and the sports are what they are. But how could Norway blast everybody? And their youth sports model they point to is everybody plays at a young age. I think we would take that and say, wait, if we got 90% of kids playing youth sports in this country, that would be absolutely massive. With our population and all the advantages we have and everything, 90% of the kids playing sports, is it relatable that Norway won the most medals? You tell me. 605-720-1067. Keep them coming in. Okay. I thought that was interesting. Side note. I thought that was interesting. And I'm going to ask Brian Noe coming up next, our next guest, about the big USA victory in hockey, by the way. Now, hockey is one of those things that wasn't, we haven't owned that sport, obviously. First gold since 1980. The Miracle on Ice, first gold, and now we take down Canada. Now, the hockey situation in this country has been growing and growing, but again, that's another youth sports thing. Not everybody's going and just playing hockey either. Not everybody's just going and playing hockey. That's also a travel sports model that has that work now. Have we gotten better in hockey? Have we gotten better in soccer? The list goes on. You tell me. Okay, I want to jump into this. Really quick, and then we'll get to Brian Noe. There is a heads up that's coming out from the NFL, okay? And I want Brian Noe's thoughts on this. There's a heads up from the NFL that there's two things that the competition committee's looking at. They're all meeting this week. Have you heard about this? NFL Competition Committee. They are meeting, and they are not expecting a proposal on banning the tush push. They are not expecting a proposal to ban the tush push. I was having a good Monday until I just read that this afternoon as they came out of those meetings. There are no team proposals as of now on the tush push ban. So my campaign, has it ended? Is it over? My campaign to ban the tush push has already ended. The other one, the NFL is looking at allowing the instant replay ref. Yes, there's an instant replay official, right? That's the quick review, and he'll tell you if it's right or wrong. And so there's an official. They're not on the field. They're in the skybox, the eagle eye. They're in the box. They might allow that instant replay official to throw a flag himself. And what do I mean by that? If he sees on his video somebody punch somebody and the refs on the field missed it, he could throw the 15-yarder and potentially eject you or something like that. What do you think of that? So the refs on the field miss it, but like Stephon Diggs, he got in a dust-up in the playoffs. You remember this? Stephon Diggs got in a dust-up with somebody. So they could see that play. Hey, there was a fight. Who started it? The instant replay official could look at it and say, it was this guy, 15 yards, and that's that. So what are we doing now? What type of deal are we opening up there now? I understand you don't want personal fouls missed and stuff like that missed. Can you go to the instant replay and say, yeah, this play, that was not a football play. That's what they would focus on. They wouldn't be reviewing holds, anything like that. But non-football plays, somebody steps on this guy's leg, somebody punches this guy off on the field, but the refs missed it. Can you go back to the tape and hit them then for a 15-yarder and an ejection? That's what they're talking about this week. We'll start there with Brian Noe and the big USA victory in hockey. Brian Noe from Fox Sports Radio, our first guest getting us going.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Shop the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned at Danny Mano Rushmore Honda. Get financing as low as 1.49% APR for 60 months on certified pre-owned Accords, CRVs, HRVs, and Pilots. Plus, shop a lot full of used imports and domestics. Virtually any make or model, including a great selection of all-wheel drives and 4x4s. See us at Danny Mano Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. $17.31 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down payment, with qualified credit.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 35. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 51. Lows level off around 27. Tomorrow night, chance for snow. Daytime highs approaching 53 Wednesday with a chance for snow changing to rain 53 Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 56 degrees.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
As we kick off the new year and you think about new opportunities in 2026, Lee Cruz with New York Life Insurance Company in Rapid City is ready to help you and your family protect your financial future. Nobody knows what life will bring, and that's why it's so important to have life insurance in place. And Lee Cruz is a local guy that will help set up the right policy that fits your needs and budget. Just take 10 minutes, protect your family with life insurance. Google Lee Cruz New York Life. That's Lee Cruz at 605-360-8804.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on back on a Monday, a Reaction Monday on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. I hope you watched the overtime golden goal, the 3v3 goal that Canada's whining about today. USA wins gold in men's hockey for the first time since 1980. Massive story. I was just told one of the listeners on the Nate Brown Show heard Brian Noe on the air when the goal was scored. Is that right? I mean, this guy's putting in work. Brian Noe is your host. You hear him on the weekends on Fox Sports Radio, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Brian, how are you?
Great, Nate Brown. Always good to talk to you, man. And, we were watching live puck the first hour of the countdown show, so that was a treat, man. What a game, and for Team USA to pull it off, that was sensational.
Okay, I wanted to get your read on this because Canada coach said, that's not real hockey in overtime. You don't do that in the Stanley Cup final. I mean, you don't do that stuff. What's your read here, real hockey or not?
Well, I think if you're going to go down that road, Nate, there's certainly an argument there. It's going to sound like sour grapes if Team Canada is making that argument. So if you're going to make that argument, I think you got to go above and beyond to go compliment sandwich here. You know, if you're the Team Canada head coach or one of the players and you want to make this argument, you have got to emphasize, like, look, Team USA was magnificent today. Hellebuck was tremendous, like really go above and beyond. Like the first goal of the game, crazy what the puck handling there was by Team USA and all that. And then you just kind of sneak in there, I hate 3-on-3 hockey because, look, it's so wide open, and a lot of people are going to complain that it's fluky and weird, and they're not going to give as much credit to Team USA as I think they deserve. So I wish they would change the rules. You got to be really, really delicate, I think, to walk down that road. Everybody's going to look at you and say, oh, you're just crying, like you're sour grapes, Canada, like that sort of thing. So if you're going to make that argument, if it's coming from Team Canada, you got to be really, really careful how you make that argument.
I was watching it in the morning. I wasn't listening to you here on Fox Sports Radio, but the live coverage, I like that you were on, ready to rock and roll with that. This is the first goal since 1980. What does that tell us about hockey in the USA?
Well, it says they finally were able to climb the mountain this time, and it shows you that, like, the margins are so small. It's a weird thing where what worked for U.S. Olympic men's hockey could work against U.S. Olympic men's basketball. You know what I mean? Like, the gap is getting closer and closer with basketball catching up to the United States, and the U.S. has gotten closer and closer, shrinking the gap in men's hockey. So I just think that, listen, now that the NHL guys are in there, and Team USA obviously has a lot of talent, I do think that Team Canada is a better team. I think they do have more talent. But here's the thing, Nate. It's sports, man. The more talented, the better team doesn't always win. It's all about how you perform on that stage that day. And Team USA is certainly good enough to have a fighting chance against the world's best. And they showed it on Sunday. They were better than Canada that day, and that's all that really matters.
Massive story, fun game, really good experience. I thought the finish was amazing yesterday as Team USA wins gold in men's hockey, and, of course, the women won it as well. Here's a side story, but it's kind of a big one, Brian, and I want your take on it. So, small country of Norway, they won the most medals ever. So they've had a surge in the Winter Olympics. They've always been good, but they broke their own record. Most medals ever, 18 golds, 41 overall. It's a tiny country. This is a population of Minnesota, essentially. How does a country like that do it? They say the youth sports model, 9 out of 10 Norwegian kids play sports. 9 out of 10. Everybody plays, no specialization, no travel teams. It's everybody plays. They don't keep score till age 11. Is this related or not?
Wow, that is really interesting, Nate. Look at you doing a deep dive in Norwegian sports, Norwegian athletics over there. I love those facts, but it's got to be connected because this isn't a one-off for Norway. Like, Norway has done great in multiple winter games. So there's got to be something to it. A country that small, the size of Minnesota, for them to, routinely come up big, and they beat their own record by not a lot. You know what I mean? They didn't smash their own record. They beat it by a couple of medals, and, so they've had prolonged success. I think there's absolutely something to that, where 9 out of 10 kids are playing sports, man. Like, it's part of the culture. It's part of what you grow up doing. And you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if it was ski jumping, and I don't even know if it was like 4 brothers and sisters. And I don't even know if they were Norwegian or not. I'm doing a terrible job here. But there was a picture that I saw during the Winter Games where it was this young family. They're kids, and they're standing on the couch together in a stance like they're doing ski jumping. Oh. And I think they might have been from Norway, but it goes to your point where if this is just the culture and this is what you grow up doing, of course some of those kids are going to grow up to be, prodigies in their respective sports. So, yeah, I absolutely think there's something to that.
I thought that was wild. Norway winning the most medals ever. Kids play sports. They're 9 out of 10 kids. Brian Noe is on tonight. Let's shift gears out of the Olympics. I'm going to go to the NFL. Love talking ball with Brian Noe. I got 2 things. Competition committee is meeting this week for the NFL. One is there is no team proposal right now to ban the tush push. So my campaign to ban the tush push, is it over?
Man, I think for this year it is. And I'm okay with that, Nate. I just fundamentally have a problem with it being banned where it's just like, what's your argument? The argument is, well, the Eagles are so good at that, like, we have to get it out of football. It's like, well, if we play that game, it's like, well, Patrick Mahomes is pretty good throwing the deep ball to Tyreek Hill when he was a Chief. Do we have to get rid of deep passes in the end? You know what I mean? Like, I don't buy the argument that the Eagles are really good. And they came back to earth a little bit too, Nate. They only had, it was like 26 tush pushes this last year, and they were only successful about 63% of the time. And so I'm like, I really don't think it's to this degree where it's this massive problem. So I'm in favor of keeping it. I am surprised that it sounds like there's not even going to be a vote. It seemed like if you go back to the season, there were a couple of times where the Eagles, one of their guards would move early. And even though there was an emphasis in trying to call those false start penalties, they would go uncalled. And it was like, oh, gosh, right? Like, I just – and some of the goofy things that were happening, like the Bears stripped them and the Giants stripped Jalen Hurts. I think the Giants got the short end of the stick. It wasn't called a fumble. I believe the Bears stripped him, and it was a fumble. So it was like all these soap opera things going on with the tush push. I thought it would at least be voted on. There was a time during the season I thought it was dead for sure. And for there not to be any vote, I am surprised about that. But I'm in favor of keeping it. What's weird to me, Nate, is I thought they would use the tush push to kind of get rid of pushing any of your teammates forward in any capacity.
Yes.
Think back to the playoffs where Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback, he got pushed forward for about a 10-yard gain to like the Jaguars' 1-yard line. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing at this point? So I thought they would use the tush push to get rid of any type of pushing a teammate downfield, but
by the way,
I don't think that's going to be the way it goes down.
By the way, the committee discussed that today, aiding the runner. They didn't say tush push, so no vote on tush push. They discussed, should you be able to pick up a player and take him into the end zone? Is that within the league's rules? And to me, it's like, that I hate that. That's part of the tush push, and now we just pick him up and take him in. They got to do. I want to do something if you're not going to get rid of the tush push. You like guys getting pushed down the field?
No, I don't. I don't, Nate. And that to me is a better argument for a safety thing. There's not many injuries on the tush push. We've had a couple. There was a lineman that got nicked up. I'm not going to say it's safety free, but there haven't been nearly as many injuries as, that was the way to shoehorn the change of, it's a safety thing. The safety thing is when your teammate is 5 yards downfield and a left guard is like, all right, I'm going to run full speed into my quarterback and try to, clobber him forward. That is a safety issue, and it's dumb. That part is dumb. I hate the pushing and assisting of players downfield. I would be more than happy for them to get rid of that, though.
Brian Noe is on tonight, Fox Sports Radio national host, countdown to kickoff all season long, and live during the USA Golden Goal in OT yesterday. Last one of the competition committee. They're debating letting the replay official, the guy up in the box, call a penalty when he sees something that's not a football play, so something away from the ball, a punch, somebody steps on somebody, something egregious. Can a replay official call a 15-yarder when he looks at the replay?
Totally fine with it. 100% fine with it. I think it's dumb. I've made this argument for years, Nate. I think it's dumb that we can see one replay of an obvious penalty that was missed, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. It's just like, well, they missed it live, so I guess they got away with it. It makes no sense fundamentally, as long as it doesn't slow the game down drastically. And if you look at replay assist, they've done a great job of streamlining that, keeping it moving. It hasn't slowed down the game, hasn't bogged the game down. So I would make a safe assumption that this would be the same thing. They watch one replay, it's like, wow, that guy just punched the other guy in the face. That's a penalty. Or something that was obviously missed. I have no issue with that. I'm absolutely in full support of replay calling penalties that were uncalled on the field.
Wow.
You get my double thumbs up.
Wow.
No seal of approval on that one, Nate Brown.
So we're going to eject guys off of go to the replay for an ejection.
That's right. Don't throw punches. Don't do things that are ejectable, and you won't be ejected. How about that?
All right. Brian Noe coming in today, ready to roll. Fox Sports Radio national host on our Monday show on the Nate Brown Show. As always, man, great stuff. I appreciate you.
Always great hanging with you, Nate Brown. And, hey, you know what? It's always a great day in South Dakota.
You got it. I love it. Brian Noe sending us off. Just getting us started on the drive home on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Brian Noe from Las Vegas, national host on Fox Sports Radio. Wow, that's interesting. I'm a guy that wants to keep the game clean. I want to keep things. So they're referencing, if there's plays away from the ball, non-football plays, some guy stepped on this guy's leg, should have been unnecessary roughness. Some guy threw a punch, should have been unsportsmanlike conduct. The replay official in the box goes to the replay, hey, there was a 15-yarder, guys, on this player. And then they call it, even if the officials miss it on the field. Sounds right to me. I wonder if they're going to move that forward. Sounds right. We can't let guys get away with stuff just to get away with it, right? But how far are you going to take it? It's just non-football plays is what they're discussing for the replay official to say, yeah, we got to call a penalty here, and we got to call a penalty on that guy. That's an interesting one. Competition committee meeting this week in the NFL, and the tush-push ban is not being discussed. So you guys can have your tush-push and all the ugliness that comes with it. You can't tell if it's a football play. You can't tell what's happening. You can't tell if they get the first, they don't get the first. Is it a fumble? Is it not a fumble? It's not a football play, but we're going to keep it going because it's so much fun. Coming right back with Gary Sharp from Omaha, talking Huskers and more coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Show your home some love with an upgrade to acclaimed replacement windows and an ensemble entry door. Get 20% off windows and doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus, get an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Energy efficient, durable, and custom made for the perfect fit. It's time to show your home some love. Call today or visit rvarapidcity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Pros from Rapid City to Sioux Falls. The Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports.
Come back in, your sports, your show. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show, powered by Black Hills Federal Credit Union, my family's banking partner. I want you to know, being a member, it's been the right choice, no doubt, from the great rates on vehicle loans, personal loans, business loans. You can do it all there. Great technology and convenience. The mobile app's outstanding, saves you a ton of time. Become a member at BHFCU, wherever you're at in South Dakota. 18 locations from the Black Hills to Sioux Falls. I'm glad I switched from my last bank. These guys have been outstanding, so I'm telling you, get on there, bhfcu.com. Start there. Really easy to get started. Become a member. Take advantage of all the benefits. Have a bank that works for you. bhfcu.com. Start there. Busy show tonight. Jason Andera is coming up from SDPB, high school sports analyst. We'll get into some hoops. Luke Hanneman's on the way. Sioux Falls Lincoln, undefeated. He's the head boys basketball coach. He's on tap. Let's go to Nebraska for Gary Sharp, Omaha play-by-play sports broadcaster extraordinaire. I mean, he's got it all. Gary Sharp's in tonight. Gary, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, good evening, Nate. Great to talk to you and your listeners. What a great time of the year. You guys have state basketball that's right around the corner, conference tournaments. It's a fun time of the year.
I love it. I'm with you on this. A lot of people say, oh, football's over and this and that. I'm going, man, this gets popping for places like South Dakota, Nebraska, some of these places. So I'm going to get your read on. You're a hockey guy, so give me your read on how big the win was, USA over Canada yesterday.
Not as big as Miracle and on ice in '80, just because you were using pros. I think in this country, for the hockey people, it's a huge deal because it just validates that USA Hockey, whether it be men's or women's, juniors, or their national team, they have made great strides in the last decade plus. The participation numbers are up, and you're starting to see the success because U.S. has dominated World Juniors. They broke through. You could make a case that they had the better roster going into yesterday, which, that doesn't sit well with the Canadians. But it was a big moment for USA Hockey. I think the difference is, Nate, if by chance Canada had won in overtime yesterday, and, it's a great sport. You can dominate that particular sport and still lose because one guy can change everything like Hellebuck did yesterday in net for the U.S. But look, in the U.S., if we lose that, yeah, it's going to sting a little bit. But by Monday afternoon, we're on to the next thing.
Right.
In Canada, it's failure. It is absolute failure that you lost the men's and women's gold medal to the U.S., and also a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup since '93. So it's great for USA Hockey. I hope that hockey in this country, they can use it to get a boost, maybe participation. When the NHL starts back up on Wednesday, will more people pay attention? Will they promote Jack Hughes? But it's going to be a weird dynamic going back to Hellebuck because he plays for the Winnipeg Jets. So the guy that single-handedly basically kept the U.S. in that game, allowing them to win in overtime, he's up playing for a Canadian team, and the reaction of the Canadians to losing the gold medal. So that'll be a weird dynamic. But, again, great for USA Hockey. Great Olympics for the U.S.
You talk about hockey's growth, popularity from the juniors all the way up, and I'm seeing that. So I'm comparing another sport that's a little, so it's not mainstream, but more and more kids are playing it. What's missing with U.S. soccer on the boys' side, the men's team? Why can't U.S. soccer break through like USA Hockey?
Well, I think, one, it starts at the top with who you have running your organization at the national level, who you have coaching. Also, I think in soccer, there's maybe some of the best soccer players or could be best soccer players. There are other sports for them to play. Hockey is still a niche sport, so you kind of want to have to play hockey, and it's very limited to a few that can play that sport where you have to skate and you have to shoot and you have to take hits and hit people. So I think that's where soccer probably shares some of the better athletes at the younger age with other sports, but I think it all starts at the top, and USA Hockey is really revamped in about a decade, Nate, where they have been so much better in organization and who's running the national programs and who's selecting the best players. I mean, did you ever think that you would see a professional hockey team playing in Rapid City?
Right. No, I did not. Long time ago, not really. And that's one thing. It's like, man, got an ECHL team, and people were wondering, is this ever going to work? And it's been going on for a long time. Yeah. Gary Sharp on tonight from Omaha. I got a couple of things I want your read on. So let me go to the Summit League. You covered Omaha basketball. Mm-hmm. They got South Dakota coming up, some big games here to wrap up the year before the tournament. So Summit League basketball is going to be what it is now, but North Dakota State's jumping to the Mountain West for football. What does the Summit League basketball look like moving forward? Does this have you your ears up?
Well, I've said it before. I mean, I'm worried about the Summit League because there's a lot of advantages to the Summit League, and I don't think it gets enough credit for how good it is in men's and women's basketball. They got exceptional coaches. They've got really good players that probably get more attention when they transfer somewhere else and they play at a high major. I think, and I'm probably in the minority once you go south of Interstate 29, south of Vermilion. I'm probably in the minority. I love the conference tournament in Sioux Falls. I think the league, I think the volunteers, the staff, the arena, they put on a great show. But the problem with now being down to 8 because you lost Denver, and, North Dakota State now has one team in the Mountain West, as the Mountain West want more of a really good athletic program. I think you have to be worried about what is the future. Is the Summit League building or are they maintaining? And I think another thing that has to be resolved with the Summit League, because there's a lot of advantages of the Summit League, is where is their place among their peers, but also in terms of their distribution. Their TV deal, Nate, is not very good. We can't get Midco Sports in Omaha. Midco does a great job of covering the Summit League, but in a Summit League city, like half of them, you don't get Midco, so you don't hear about the Summit League. And, they've got a national deal with CBS. And then they've got their own network in the Midco Sports Network on the Summit League app and all of that kind of stuff. I think for the casual fan to find out more about the Summit League, they need to be on ESPN, that partnership. They need to be on ESPN+. So I think there's some things that they have to navigate through the current landscape of athletics, and I just wish the league would promote more of the good things that they do, because it's out there, but not enough people know. And so there's not enough teams and schools that are like, man, I'd like to move up. Am I going to come to the Summit League? Really, if you think about it, the only school that probably is clamoring to come to the Summit League is Augustana. Nobody else is.
Omaha play-by-play man Gary Sharp joins us tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Appreciate his time here on the Nate Brown Show. Let me switch to the Huskers. What's your reaction to Bill Moose and the book? He talked about Scott Frost and all sorts of things that was going on there. And then another one, he was debating, should Nebraska be in the Big 12 or the Big 10? What'd you think of that?
Well, it shows you, and you kind of know a little bit. We've been friends long enough, and I've been on here, and you know a little bit about Nebraska athletics. It is so dysfunctional. There's a lot of people that don't have titles that have athletic in their name that think they have to chime in, and there's a lot of politics that go on in Nebraska. Bill Moose was kind of hired to hire Scott Frost, and he hired Fred Hoiberg, so you can't hold that against him. He basically said in his book what we all thought, is that Scott Frost didn't have the tools in the toolbox to successfully run a Fortune 500 company back at his alma mater where he won a national championship. And, you couldn't say no. I mean, you had to go get Scott Frost. And so Nebraska's kind of had to live with that as Matt Rule goes into year 4 trying to pick up those pieces. I think the other part about trying to move to the Big 12, now at the time Texas and Oklahoma were still in there, but it would have been ridiculous, and it would have been a egg on the face of Nebraska athletics. It was a power struggle, and I think Moose kind of got run over by people that were above him, whether it be now the current governor, Board of Regents. It's very political, and if you don't play the political game and football's not winning, everybody's got an opinion on how to fix it.
I do know that. Everybody does.
Yeah.
By the way, Fred Hoiberg slapped the phone away from an Iowa fan who got in his face storming the court. I said Fred was in the right. I mean, I didn't mind it. I don't like fans getting on the court. Gary, you have to see some of this. Somebody gets in a coach's face in the line. So Fred slapped the phone away, and then he gave a press conference and said, well, I got a pacemaker, and it's serious stuff, and I got to watch that. I thought, Fred, you could just say, I slapped the phone away. I don't want it. What's the real story?
Well, you're spot on, Nate. I had no problem with what Fred did because that kid breached security. They were not ready. I was actually there last Tuesday night in Iowa City. They were not ready for Iowa fans to storm the court, and especially there in the handshake line. You can't have somebody jump into the handshake line that is a fan. And that kid, he ran right by the scorer's table and got right in Fred's face and put the phone in his face. And so I think all of us would react like that. I mean, I think there was more, yeah, Fred, I would have done the same thing. I think Iowa fans would have said, man, if that was a Nebraska fan, I would hope Ben McCollum would do the same thing. Now, after a couple of days after Iowa apologized, then Fred, for people that don't know, does have a pacemaker. So there are things that, he can't get riled up about. So that was his natural reaction. So I didn't have any problem with it. Iowa apologized. We move on. It's just, Nebraska lost that basketball game. They bounced back on Saturday. But, it was one of those things that can tell you that Fred is very popular. A lot of people came to his defense and said, hey, man, I would have done the same thing. That's on Iowa. They got to be able to watch for that. They can't allow somebody to hop into the handshake line.
Do you think Nebraska is a 3 seed, a 4 seed right there?
I think they're a 3 seed. They have 4 games left. They have Maryland Wednesday night. Then they go to the West Coast. They have USC, UCLA. And then they finish with Iowa 2 weeks from Sunday. If they go 3-1 and they beat Maryland, they beat Iowa, they split out on the West Coast, I think they're a number 3 seed. And hopefully that gets them to a site that's close to Nebraska, which would be St. Louis or Oklahoma City. But I think if they get to 26 wins, then they're a number 3 seed, unless somebody that is currently on the 4 line has this big-time run in the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
Great to have him on. Great broadcaster out of Omaha. He's the play-by-play man at Omaha. Gary Sharp in tonight on the Nate Brown Show. Gary, I always appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks, Nate.
Appreciate it. Gary Sharp getting set to cover Omaha, South Dakota coming up this week. Play-by-play man at Omaha and a great sports broadcaster, longtime sports talk host, Gary Sharp. Good stuff from Gary tonight. So Fred Hoiberg knocked that phone out. I talked about that last week, and I'm all on Team Fred here, knocking the phone away from the fan who stormed the court, got in his face with the phone. But then he had a press conference. He's like, well, I'll never forget when the doctor told me, you got a pacemaker and you got to be careful with phones and, vicinity. It's like, no. You didn't have to go down that road. I'm just telling you, I don't know the pacemaker thing. There can be problems in electromagnetic and all that stuff. Yeah, I understand, but I don't think that was why he slapped the phone away. He had a phone in his face, storming the court, didn't like it. That's what it is. And I would have just said, yeah, I reacted that way. We all move forward, and that's it. And now I say, well, I got a pacemaker, and you can't get a phone close to you. And it's like, Fred, just let it go, man. You were good. Everybody's on Team Fred here, I think. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, just getting going tonight. A full hour coming up with Jason Andera from SDPB Sports, Luke Hanneman, head coach, Sioux Falls Lincoln, who is undefeated this year in boys basketball. He is on the way. First, Sacramento State. They make news again. Sacramento State's going to the MAC, and they talked about how big of a benefit it was going to be for them. And boy, did they say it was really big. Is it, though? Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Show your home some love with an upgrade to acclaim replacement windows and an ensemble entry door. Get 20% off windows and doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus, get an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Energy efficient, durable, and custom made for the perfect fit. It's time to show your home some love. Call today or visit rvarapidcity.com to book your free estimate.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
Live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
All right, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on a Monday. How you doing, everybody? Solid? Great win yesterday for the USA over Canada. That was big time, so we're enjoying that, celebrating, right? Into Monday. Olympics have wrapped up, and lots to cover tonight. A lot of hoops. We're going to get into Jason Andera, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, high school hoops analyst. Jandy's coming up. Luke Hanneman's on tonight from Sioux Falls, Lincoln. He has an undefeated team. Can the Lincoln boys run the table? They got knocked off at the AA last year at state by Mitchell. Sioux Falls Lincoln unbeaten. Head coach Luke Hanneman coming up. We'll talk high school basketball. It's the Nate Brown Show from high school to college to the pros. Let's go to this story. Sacramento State, boy, they're getting some attention, right? Sacramento State's always getting some attention, and I haven't been quick to hammer them. A lot of my East River media folks love hammering Sacramento State. They're an easy target, right? They're an easy target, so they love making fun of them and love this and all that. I haven't hammered them too much because, by the way, Sacramento State's going to the FBS. They're in the FBS, whether you want to laugh about it, cry about it, whatever, they're in there. So Sacramento State's in the FBS, so we'll give them that, okay? They have made the FBS. It may be an interesting road. It may be expensive. I don't know if they're going to make any progress, but I think ultimately getting to the FBS is the place you want to get to ultimately. So how Sacramento State did it was, wrong and goofy and over the top and just throwing stuff out and just hoping on a wing and a prayer here. And they've made it so far. But here's what they keep saying. They're trying to also then stick up for themselves and say, we're getting to the FBS because we're going to have this much money and this much exposure, and we're going to be so much better than everybody. And Sacramento State going to the FBS is so much better. Well, they threw out all this stuff, and their president, Dr. Luke Wood, he threw out all this stuff about media value. He said $675 million in media value, and their games are going to be on ESPN and stuff. Those Maction games, Tuesday night Maction action. He said they were going to have so much in media value, $675 million. Then he said the athletic economic impact to Sacramento and the surrounding area, $975 million. We're talking like $1 billion? And here's what's happened. CBS Sports did a deep dive. They said, let's look into where he's getting these numbers, the Sacramento State president, all this media value and this economic impact value and game day economic impact. Where's he getting these numbers? So CBS Sports contacted the CEO of the consulting firm that did the study. They did the study. Hey, here's the value for you guys. I'm not going to get into every single number, but the CEO of that consulting firm said, I don't know where he got these numbers. It's not what we had. He put it out and expanded it over a 5-year term. So you can find the story on CBS Sports today. I read through it, and Sacramento State essentially threw out all these huge numbers, and the CEO of the consulting firm's like, well, actually, the media value is more in like $120 million, not $675 million. So the consulting firm answered CBS Sports questions. The numbers aren't what Sacramento State was saying, and now we have another issue because Sacramento State's trying to blow this thing up. We're going FBS no matter what. And they finally end up in the MAC, and they had to pay a bunch of money, and they're paying for teams to travel there. But we got to the FBS is because we're going to make $1 billion for an economic impact for this community and the city and well, not quite. The CEO of the consulting firm's like, yeah, I mean, there'll be some, numbers and some good media value and stuff like that, but not at that level. So Sacramento State's just continuing to go down this road. We're going to do this, and it's going to do this. We raised $50 million in NIL, except for that was if we got to the Pac-12. So now we don't have the $50 million in NIL. I mean, it just keeps going on and on. And I'm trying to think, Sac State can't be making this many mistakes along the way, but I guess they are. Now, I will say, is there economic impact from going FBS? Well, there has to be. Is their media value higher than the FCS? There has to be. So the mistakes they keep making is they keep going over their skis, outkicking their coverage. They just need to be a little more measured, like, hey, this is the right choice. Here's how we're going to do it. And this is what it's going to bring for us. And we think we're going to get better enrollment, higher brand awareness. We're going to make more money. We're going to be on TV, ESPN. And you're going to be at a better level than some of the FCS teams. Just make that case. So as soon as you start blowing up all these numbers, and then they look at economic impact, and it's like, oh, all this economic impact stuff is bull. By the way, I'm getting in an argument with some folks on whether they think economic impact is actually a thing in sports or not. It is. So when you have a state tournament in your town in South Dakota, there's economic impact to that. You just can't say it's $20 million if it's $2 million. Okay? So I think we got to be careful when we say, oh, all the economic impact stuff is bull. Because, no, sports tourism and economic impact is real. And I understand the consultants. Guess what? I've worked with consultants, okay? They like showing you big things because you're paying them to do that. Hey, this. You got to be measured, actually breaking it down and understand there is sports economic impact, no doubt. The state bees in Aberdeen, there's a big impact there. State tournaments in general, for example, in a community that doesn't have them. Summit League tournament in Sioux Falls, there's an economic impact there. If you have tournaments in your city that aren't normally going to bring those visitors there, well, that's the economic impact. But you can't be like Sac State and presenting it just crazy. Here's $1 billion in economic impact. Huh? And then the CEO of this consulting firm is like, yeah, that's not really what we said. Sacramento State, what's next? Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show. Let's see here. Lister text coming in from you on Sacramento State. What do you think? Lister text, Sac State numbers that the dean spouted off were to make people believe, just like the Pac-12 numbers they used to try and get. So, yeah, it's the president. It's the president who's throwing these numbers out. Lister text, I signed with Sac State, awaiting my NIL check currently. Yeah. Come on, that's not true. Come on. That's a good line, though. Not a bad line. We got somebody here in South Dakota who signed with Sac State. Backup punter. was told he's going to get $1 million. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's not true. We're only factual here on the Nate Brown Show. Like my next subject. I'm going to get into this. This is interesting to me. So, speaking of high school sports, there's some people that watch these games online. Are you one of those? You watch the live video streams? There's all these schools, all these games here in South Dakota that are online. Well, some people, I've heard, are complaining that some games aren't online. So what is the real story with South Dakota high school sports and live video streams? Do you think all schools should have video streams in 2026? Let's get into it coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
The following radio ad is Good Fun Squad approved.
Hey, I'm Dylan, and I'm a South Dakota Lottery intern. I've learned some pretty cool things here at the lottery. Like, did you know 100% of the money we make goes back to the state, including millions every year for education? That's awesome, right? I also learned there's a machine for making your own coffee. Who knew? Anyway, learn more about where South Dakota Lottery money goes at goodfunsd.com.
Good fun.
Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
Count on unequaled selection with the best price at Mr. Liquor in Rapid City. This month's specials include $5 off all Fireball liters, now $15.99. Save a whopping $8 off handles of Wheatley vodka, now only $21.99. Or choose all varieties of Menage a Trois wines, just $9.99. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores, off Catron next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Get ready for an unforgettable night of magic and laughter at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort with David Anthony's Evening of Magic and Hypnosis. Join us April 11th for a high-energy show packed with jaw-dropping illusions and hilarious interactive hypnosis that puts audience volunteers in the spotlight. Doors open at 5:30 with showtime from 6 to 7:30. It's fast-paced fun and full of surprises. You won't want to miss it. Visit CadillacJacksGaming.com to get your tickets today and see how your night plays out.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wire for USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson cell booster systems, and now Starlink and Equistar internet systems. Starlink and Equistar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. Glad you're here. I really appreciate you. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Hope you had a nice weekend and a solid Monday. as good as Monday can be. It is always a great day in South Dakota, and South Dakota Sports Talk Show, our official outfitter is Trav's Outfitter, a South Dakota independently owned retailer. They're proud of that. Best selection, best service, no BS when it comes to work boots and Western boots. This is the place. So try out Trav's Outfitter. You won't be let down there. New store, Campbell Street in Rapid City. Also online, check their selection, travsoutfitter.com. But really, it's about the experience with their staff, the kind of place you go back to when it's time for the next pair. If you're on your feet all day, fit matters. Trav's Outfitter, experts in work and Western footwear. Staff knows work boots and Western boots. It's what they do. I'm telling you, travsoutfitter.com. Trav's Outfitter, brand new store, Campbell Street in Rapid City. Jason Andera is coming up, South Dakota high school sports analyst for SDPB. High school hoops getting good right now. Some interesting games over the weekend. Jason Andera is coming up. And the head coach at Sioux Falls Lincoln, boys basketball, Luke Hanneman, they're undefeated. And they were running the table last year. And I thought they were going to win the AA state title. Mitchell came in, knocked them off. Then we had that battle with Brandon Valley. So AA is interesting. Sioux Falls Lincoln has control of it now. Can they go all the way? They're undefeated, and their head coach, Luke Hanneman's coming up. If you want to be a part of the show, 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. 2 locations, East River, Brandon, and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, home of everyone's favorite buffet. And also the Barons-Wilson text line. You've got that number, I hope. Same number. If you can't call, you can text the show, 605-720-1067. Does sports have an economic impact? Well, of course they do. Sacramento State's in a little bit of reactionary mode because they're now having to react to a CBS Sports story today that looked into all their valuation that they said over everything. They're going to have media value and economic impact value and game day value, and they put all this millions and millions, close to $1 billion in some of these categories. And the consulting firm that did the study was contacted by CBS Sports. Hey, where do these numbers come from? Well, it wasn't quite this one, and it wasn't quite that one. But then it gets into like, well, you can't believe I'm arguing with my friends there in the media world in South Dakota. They're saying, well, a lot of these economic impact stuff with sports is bull. They said a lot of this stuff is bull. Well, no, here's the real deal. Here's the real statement. Are some economic impact studies inflated numbers? I'm sure they are. They are trying to tell you the hotels, the businesses, the restaurants, it just goes. The dollars that are spent from visitors coming to your town for a tournament go this far. Because then they say it's not just those businesses, then it goes back into the community this way. I understand how economic impact studies are made when it comes to sports. Yes, are some of the numbers huge? I'm sure they are. They're trying to make that point. But you can't go from, the Summit League tournament's not a big benefit to Sioux Falls. The State Bees in Huron and Aberdeen, they're not a big benefit. Well, yeah, they are. I mean, they got to be huge benefits. So I think we can both agree, right? Sports economic impact for state tournaments, for example, in South Dakota, they're really significant. You just can't go the Sacramento State route. Oh, they're way up here, and then you can't say, well, all of that stuff is just bull. You can't believe any of those because sports tourism and economic impact to me is very real, very real. I was looking at some of these numbers in my previous job. We were trying to get some projects done and trying to look at what does the state track meet bring and stuff like that with all these athletes and parents that normally wouldn't be coming to a market. It's significant. There's no doubt. Speaking of high school sports here, I have a question for you. Question of the day on the Nate Brown Show. As you're driving home this Monday, I'm going to make you think. Do you think in 2026 every school should have a live video stream of their athletic events? Where did I get this? Well, I've been doing the play-by-play stuff for a long time. That's how I started. I don't do the play-by-play anymore, but been involved in that for a long time. And there used to just be radio play-by-play. That's when I was in my wheelhouse and I went on the road to cover these games. And man, that was the real deal. If you had good play-by-play and the listeners just loved it, we didn't have the internet video stream, the golden days of play-by-play, and you could paint the picture, and people enjoyed listening to the games in South Dakota high school football, basketball, etc. Well, now all these video streams have taken over. So I'm just asking this because I'm seeing some people, and I hear from people, actually. There are people that have talked to me and said, I can't believe this game isn't on the video. Like I've had people send me a message. How come I can't watch this game? Well, I'm here to tell you there's a ton of video streams, but not every school district, not every school does their own, has their own huddle, has a partnership with a media company. So not every school has a video stream. You may think everybody has a video stream. Not everybody does. My question to you as high school sports fans, do you think by 2026 everybody should have a video stream to highlight their school, to highlight their athletes, to connect fans and let them watch the games? Grandparents that can't make it, family, whatever. That's my question of the day. I'm just kind of curious, a little study on the Nate Brown Show tonight. I'm just curious how you lay this out. Do you think every school, whether it's through their own video stream or through a company or something like this, through the NFHS, should they have their own video stream in 2026? That's my question of the day. What do you say? 605-720-1067. If you want to answer that, I'd appreciate it. Question of the day, yay or nay, should schools have their own live video stream of their athletic events in 2026? Okay, 605-720-1067. I'll give away a free buffet to the Pizza Ranch, by the way. Answer our question of the day. We'll throw you into the drawing. We'll pull out a winner tonight for answering the question of the day. A free buffet to the Pizza Ranch from the Nate Brown Show tonight. Let's go to the Twitter poll. I just want to see the numbers. Let's go to the Twitter poll. 74%. I mean, this is high. This is really high. 74% of you say in 2026, every school should have their sports on a live video stream. And I'm not telling you, I'm just going to bring you behind the scenes a little bit. That's easier said than done. That is easier said than done, okay? 26% of you say, no, we can't expect that. How does 74% of our Twitter audience think that every school should have a live video stream? When I say it's easier said than done, finding somebody to set it up, having the partnership with whatever you're going to do it. You're going to do it through your own school. You're going to get a deal with NFHS. You're going to get a deal with like a media company like mine. I mean, what are you going to do? And then you got to have somebody to run it. That every single game, yes, I'm talking like you should put this game on there. You should put wrestling on there. You should put volleyball, basketball, football. I mean, if you're going to do it, that's what I mean by you can't just pick and choose like, oh, we're going to do this basketball game. We're going to have these basketball games on there. Well, that's not right. I mean, you got to if you're going to have a live video stream, you should have a lot of the activities. It's hard to do, man. Manpower, time, commitment. I mean, we can barely find people to do the book at basketball games. We can barely find people to do the shot clock. You think we're worried about the video stream for Tom and Nancy? But I'm just telling you, it's easier said than done. It's great. I'm not telling you it's a bad thing. It's a great thing. Video streams. I've watched a couple when I couldn't make a couple of soccer games. So I pulled them up right there on my TV. I missed a couple of soccer games, East River. So I was like, I'm going to pull that up. It's great. But I don't know if we can expect it. You think you can just expect it? You think every school should have that? Listener reaction, yes, and it should be free. Well, thank you. I mean, what perfect world do you live in? I'd like to join you. Yeah, I mean, we're so demanding here. Yes, and it should be free. Darn it, schools, why aren't you getting this video stream up? Man, we expect a lot. Listener text, yes, each school should have their streaming service for their sports program It doesn't have to have a commentator, but it should be streaming. So can we find this answer, though? Like, I'm telling you it's good. I'm telling you we should have live video streams. Yes, I'm fine with that. I ask, though, do you expect it? I mean, do you absolutely think every school should have it? I think it's way harder to get that whole scene set up than people realize. It's not just setting up a tripod and, setting up the camera. Okay? What's a tripod? Anyway, 74% of you say yes, every school should have video. How about that? Listener reaction. I didn't know there were any schools that didn't. All right. Yeah, there are. There's schools that don't have live video streams, just so you're aware. You think my company should get into that? Should I help with this? Stay tuned. Maybe we'll get into that. We're doing play-by-play, but we haven't got into the video stream side. Maybe we'll get into that. Jason Andera is coming up. Speaking of high school sports, high school basketball analyst for South Dakota Public Broadcasting, up next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Show your home some love with an upgrade to acclaimed replacement windows and an ensemble entry door. Get 20% off windows and doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus, get an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Energy efficient, durable, and custom made for the perfect fit. It's time to show your home some love. Call today or visit rbarapidcity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
Breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight, just getting the week going. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. Welcome in on Fox Sports Rapid City across South Dakota. Talk to Sioux Falls Lincoln head boys basketball coach Luke Hanneman coming up. Undefeated, can they run the table? We'll talk to the Patriots head man trying to win the state AA title. Are they the big-time favorite in AA? He's coming up. Let's talk some high school hoops with Jason Andera. We do it every Monday. SDPB, high school sports analyst. His show is called Game Time, and he's on X at 605 Jandy, and he's on the Nate Brown Show. Jason, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Nate, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. I have a question for you right out of the gate. I saw people complaining over the weekend about some athletic events not video streamed here in South Dakota. They were like, I can't believe this isn't on. I mean, we got to do a better job here. So I thought, well, this is interesting. There's a ton of athletic events that are streamed, a ton. Most schools, I think most have video streams, but there are schools that don't. In 2026, do we expect live video streams at every school in South Dakota?
I mean, we do expect that. That's how you're going to word it for sure. We expect that somebody can find a connection in live stream, especially for the main sports that we're used to seeing streamed. I think that's become a regular thing, which I'm very grateful for. But you're right. There shouldn't be an assumption that every single event is going to be streamed, but that's where we're at. I mean, I'm looking for streams all the time.
You are, I'm sure, and you're trying to follow this school and all of these teams across the state. Now,
yes,
I love the video streams. I mean, I like it. I'm just thinking, man, I was throwing out to my audience, what do you expect? 74% of my audience has voted, yes, every school should have video. So do you think schools should make this a priority that don't have live video streams? Because I don't know if they want it. I mean, small towns, they want people coming to the games. They might not be able to find somebody to set this thing up. I think it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how far we've come to be able to expect everything to be streamed. You don't need to be an expert anymore. There are people that can, figure it out, and we have all different levels of streams, everything from very rudimentary to some really fantastic productions that I've seen across the state. So, right. I don't know if we expect a little bit too much from some of these schools, maybe, but that's where we're at, where, and everybody has an internet connection, and almost anybody can find, even a phone to be able to stream a game from. So I guess I can see why people are expecting it, but yeah, there are exceptions.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if schools are going to lean into this, if every school eventually is going to have a live video stream. Now, it's great. Grandma and grandpa that can't make it, or a family member, or whatever. I mean, it's really good stuff. It connects high school sports fans to other games. We can sit here and watch all sorts of games, like on a Friday night for football or whatever, and it's great. I just wonder if schools are going to lean into that all the way across the board. I think it's great. I don't know if should they make it a priority, Jason? Should they make it a priority?
I mean, yes. I think it should be a priority, because unlike the common reaction when we first started streaming things, is it's going to take away from the gate, and I don't think it's taken away from the gate. I think most people are invested in their team even more than they would be, because now they're going to be able to see the away games, so they can't wait to come back and watch the home games. I don't really think it bites into it. So should it be a priority? I mean, you have to have different levels of priority. I mean, you got to make sure other things are taken care of above streaming, but I think it should be up there. Yeah, I think it's great.
All right, very interesting. What's going to happen first? Every school to have a live video stream, or every coach turning in stats?
Oh, let's hope the stats, but I think that we're a little bit off from that still, maybe at least a couple more cycles of trying to figure out how to get that done. But I would love to see the stats come in, and I think there's tons of fans that would love to see that too. But I think we're closer to having every game streamed.
Okay, let me shift gears really quick and go to football. I know it's basketball. Let me go to football really quick. So they had the emergency board meeting at the Activities Association, or a special meeting, I should say, not an emergency, but special, last week. And they put out the new classes because they moved some teams down. We have 9 teams in AAA, 11 in AA, 12 in Class A football. 9, 11, 12. Is that enough teams in, for example, 11A football?
Well, I mean, I think that should be, speaking of priorities, I think that should be one of the lower priorities is how many teams are in a class. To me, I mean, the state is set up so differently that there's such a variance of different schools that's really not what the focus should be. The focus should be how fair are these games between the two schools that are playing each other. And you have to do that sometimes, is have small classes, but you're right, they're shrinking. The larger schools, not as many of them, and it's really making the class sizes go down, which, you know, it sways a lot of things. It makes teams be able to go further in the playoffs, and they take that for granted, and that's pluses and minuses with that too. So I don't think that's what we should be focusing on, is the size of each class. More fair play between classes.
Okay, so I'm going to make this a priority. You know what the priority should be? A success factor. We should bring that in.
I think if as a factor, yeah, it should be maybe one of the factors that play into it. I think school size is still going to be your number one factor, though, when that comes together, because it's such a complicated formula to make these games as fair as possible. But the success factor maybe should be one of those factors. I agree with you, Nate.
Okay. Here's what I can't figure out. You know, we talked about the enrollment, and we create these lines, and we move these teams up and down. Douglas is the smallest AA school in the state, and they have to play Aberdeen more than twice.
There's nothing.
Aberdeen's bigger than Douglas as composed to Aberdeen and some of the Sioux Falls schools. So why is that right? I don't know. Nobody's given me that answer. Why is Aberdeen so much bigger than Douglas and they play in the same class?
Well, for me, I like the way Minnesota does it, where they don't let the ratios get more than like 2.5, at the very most 2.5 to 1, but most of them are within that 2 to 1 range. So having Douglas be half the size of Aberdeen is unfortunate, but 2 to 1 with me is probably about as high as you want to go. But you're right. If you take Aberdeen and put them up against a Harrisburg or one of the Sioux Falls schools,
yeah,
you know, they're doubling their size. So, but there was a time, you know, even before we had the 7 classes, that we would have 3 to 1 or even more than 3 to 1 ratios where we'd have teams playing against each other. So, you know, that's got to be part of it. But I think there maybe should be some other factors that there haven't been taken into consideration before, like we talked about, potential success factors, teams that have had trouble year in, year out for different reasons, like Douglas has. Like right now, you can't change it because of policy. Well, maybe they need to make a new policy to be able to make considerations for schools like Douglas.
All right. Jason Andera is on tonight. Follow him at 605 Jandy on X. He's SDPB high school sports analyst. His show is released every week. It's called Game Time. Find it on YouTube. So let's a couple of basketball hitters. Sioux Falls Roosevelt boys get beat by Washington. Roosevelt was considered one of the top teams. So who's number 2 for you now? Yeah. Lincoln's number 1. Who's the second best in AA boys?
Well, I voted Huron number 2, but very unconfidently, because this Roosevelt team, I think, is right there. They're right there as the next best team, but they're not built to be a team that can go in, night out, and just show up and win. There's so many teams that are close to them. This Washington team has really impressed me over the last month, the way they're playing. So that didn't shock me that Washington was able to go beat them. And I think we're going to have a lot more of these AA games. We talked about Lincoln getting challenged by O'Gorman and T. I mean, these are mid-level Class AA teams that are giving the best team in the state problems. So when you come to the number 2, we've got that problem even more often. This Huron team, I've got them at number 2 right now, but they struggle in the backcourt bringing the ball up, and they have trouble with turnovers from time to time, even though they have some of the best front court players in the state. So on a given night, it's kind of like the NBA. You got to go out there and play great to be able to consistently win. And they can get beat by anybody in that top half of the AA class right now.
I was wondering if you had Huron number 2. That's an interesting one. Roosevelt did beat Huron earlier this year. So in girls, Rapid City Stevens girls beat Rapid City Christian. That was a AA versus A crosstown matchup. It was only by 6. Stevens girls beat Rapid City Christian. What do you think about Christian girls potentially in Class A? Could they be a state team?
They got a nice team out there, and they've been playing quietly very well. They haven't really showed up highly in the rankings this year, but they've been taking care of business, and they play against a pretty good schedule, and they've been able to get some games like that against Stevens that make you open your eyes a little bit, that maybe they could put something together. In the region they're in, they should be able to qualify for the SODAC 16, and then once you get to the SODAC 16, you're going to have a tough opponent no matter what, but they're the kind of team that can knock off a team if they get the right matchup.
Yeah, that was interesting. And the Rapid City Christian boys beat the Rapid City Stevens boys. Tough road right now in the AA boys side of things for both Rapid City schools. We're going to talk to the Sioux Falls Lincoln head boys coach coming up, trying to get his team undefeated all the way through. Luke Hanneman's on the way. Jason Andera in first with SDPB Sports. Jason, I appreciate you. Thanks.
All right, see you next week.
See ya. Jason Andera every Monday on the Nate Brown Show. SDPB, high school sports analyst. The show is called Game Time. Streaming. Yeah, streaming on YouTube. That's a good one, man. Should we make schools have live video streams? Should that be a priority? 74% of you have said yes, every school should have a live video stream. That's a big number. I mean, it's a tough question because you're like, well, yeah, I'd want that. I think it's great. I can bring them up. I can watch it at home. I do say this, though. Jason said schools haven't lost gate. He said schools don't lose gate because of the video stream. I don't buy that one, Mr. Andera. I do not. I have anecdotal evidence just from my life. It's a real life, but it's anecdotal evidence. I know people that don't go to high school games. Why? I'll just bring it up on my phone and check in. I mean, they're fans, but they're now not parents anymore, so they're not like totally connected. I'll just bring it up on my phone. I know that. I've heard that a ton. So I do believe the schools that do the video streams, I think they do lose some gate. I really do. I'm not talking about the student body. Students are hard to get to go to games anyway. I'm not talking about that. They're not sitting here watching their school on video stream, okay? Maybe Billy is, but I don't know, okay? Not a lot of the kids are. So coming right back with Luke Hanneman, Sioux Falls Lincoln head boys basketball coach. They're undefeated, and he's next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Watiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterpark.com.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
No one has more to choose from at a better price than Mr. Liquor in Rapid City. This month's specials include $5 off all flavors of Kahlua 750s, now $24.99. Save $5 off Traveler Whiskey from Chris Stapleton, now only $29.99. Or pick up Jameson Original and Orange 750s, now just $26.49. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores, off Catron next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago at Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
You never know what kind of weather Mother Nature has planned. Be ready in a 4x4 or all-wheel drive from Denny Mental Toyota. Shop a great selection of used trucks and sport utilities and the area's best selection of used Toyotas and Toyota certified pre-owned. Get financing as low as 4.99% APR for up to 72 months on certified pre-owned, including RAV4s. See us at Denny Mental Toyota or DennyMentalToyota.com. 1610 for 1,000 finance regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit expires 3/2/26.
Hey guys, glad you made it. Go ahead and put your hot dish on the picnic table with the others.
But won't it get cold? Oh, little announcement. We will be eating outside in the cold tonight. Not my idea.
But June, it's starting to snow.
Cheapskate Jerry here.
What?
Thought we could go another year before we replaced our drafty old windows.
If only June and Jerry had done a free consultation with Renewal by Anderson, their new replacement windows would be in, and their guests wouldn't be out in the cold.
Swedish meatball, anyone?
Only if I could eat it inside.
Trust me, it's warmer out here than it is in the house.
If only they knew that Renewal has acclaimed custom windows and ensemble doors to keep their home warm and cozy. With financing options even cheapskate Jerry can afford.
What?
My fingers are frozen.
Mine nose hairs are frozen. Mine broke off. Worst party ever.
Make the best decision for your home with exclusive custom-fit acclaimed windows and ensemble doors. Only from Renewal by Anderson. Learn more at rbarapidcity.com.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
All right, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. Just getting the week going. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Fox Sports Rapid City. We're live on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. Packed lineup tonight. If you missed parts of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show, every guest right there. You can listen on demand. So search the Nate Brown Show. If you missed this show live on your drive, you can't have all 2 hours blocked out for us. I get it. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show is there from high school to college to the pros. Great guests. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search the Nate Brown Show. Luke Hanneman's on tonight. Sioux Falls, Lincoln. Boy, can they win the AA Boys State title. I watched them last year, man. A great team. A great team. Just got clipped. The AA State tournament. A lot of guys back. And they're undefeated. Coach, good to get you on. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate the time, man. So I want to get into this team here. You had to have high expectations. The players had high expectations. You got a regular season wrapping up here. You're still undefeated. Let me ask you about how hard this has been so far. Some close games. Everybody's got to be trying to take you down. Do people understand how hard the season's been?
Yeah, it's a big challenge, that's for sure. Every single night, you know you're going to get everyone's best shot, and there's a lot of really good basketball teams in the AA right now this year. And so when you go through the gauntlet of the Metro Conference schedule, and then you got teams like Huron and Watertown on your schedule as well, and you got to play T, it's kind of a battle every single night you go out there.
Yeah, I wonder how hard it is. Basketball can go every which way. You miss a shot, you have a turnover, it happens. How have these guys been able to make the big plays? How have you been able to win every game?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the most important thing you can do in AA basketball and what you can do most consistently is play defense. And so if you can play defense at a consistent level every single night, and that's something that you can control a little bit more than those shots going in sometimes. You give yourself a chance, at least, in every single game you're playing. And so I think that's kind of what our focus has been, and we've seemed to be doing a better job of it as of late, and I think that's helping us out a little bit.
Okay, point that out, because I look at the last 4 games. This can't be a coincidence. Last 4 games, you guys have given up less than 50 in every game. And you said we've done a better job there. What's the difference?
One of the big differences right now is guys are communicating at a higher level on the floor. We have a lot of really smart players and really good kids, outside of basketball. And what comes with that sometimes is they're kind of a quieter group. And so that's kind of been an emphasis of ours, is just making sure that we're talking, making sure that we're loud out there on the floor. And that seems to have helped a little bit on the defensive end there.
Luke Hanneman's on tonight, Sioux Falls Lincoln head boys basketball coach. They're undefeated in AA. You guys got beat in the semis last year in state AA. I watched that. Could have went either way. You guys had a great club. How did you focus the offseason? What were these guys all about here? They've got their own summer stuff, but how did you keep this program tight to return this year?
Yeah, I think one of the blessings that we have in our program right now is a bunch of multi-sport athletes. And so when you get down in one sport and things don't go your way in basketball, guys are on to the next one. They're getting ready for track. They're getting ready for football. And so they kind of are able to shift their minds to different things and learn how to compete in different sports. As well as throughout the summer, they're showing up at 6:30 in the morning, twice a week, getting workouts in with us. We're playing games every Tuesday night, and then they're lifting 3 or 4 times a week, just depending on what their schedule is with us. And so they've been putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and so far, some of that has been showing on the floor.
I do want to ask you, is it important to go undefeated? You guys, was that important to you?
We never talk about that. We haven't talked about our record at all, actually. We talk about our opponent, our next opponent, and that's our focus every single time. And so our next opponent is Aberdeen, and that's what our focus is as a basketball team right now.
I want to ask you about this 20-game schedule, and then there's a basketball proposal that's going to go to the athletic directors, which I know they're going to be voting on this. It could move to 22. Just from a high school basketball coach's perspective, would you want more regular season games than 20? Would you want 22?
Yeah, I think that'd be a benefit for us for sure. If we could somehow create the schedule to change a little bit here, where after the Sodak game we don't have to wait another week and a half, to play in the state tournament, that would also be a benefit to us. I think we kind of grind it out in February right now, and there's about 11 games that we played this February, but now till the end of the year we're going to play 4 games in a month, So it's kind of a challenge here at the end of the year. Everyone's in the same boat in that aspect of keeping guys competing at a high level and making sure they're ready for those big moments.
I was going to look at that. We'll see where that goes. Basketball proposal to expand games in South Dakota will go to a vote. Instead of 20 games, it might go to 22. Luke Hanneman's on, Sioux Falls Lincoln head boys coach. What's the difference, Coach, between this year and last year if you can make a state run? What's the difference that's going to take you over the top?
I think it's going to be making sure that we are just consistent, and focusing on that defensive end every single time we show up on the court, and then at the same time executing on the offensive end when we need to. Being able to play at different paces, whatever the game is dictating at that moment. If we need to play a little faster, we should be able to play a little faster. If we need to slow it down, we hope to be able to slow it down at times. And so I think those are different keys that are going to try and be our focus here moving into March.
Sioux Falls Lincoln 19-0. They're undefeated. Head coach is Luke Hanneman. They've got Aberdeen Central coming up to wrap up the regular season. Coach, we'll talk to you again. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time talking Lincoln basketball with AA head coach Luke Hanneman of Sioux Falls Lincoln Patriots. They're undefeated, the #1 team in AA hoops. Good stuff. Good stuff. Who's hot and who's not is next, including Live Golf. You know about Live Golf? You're not going to believe this coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence, go with trust, go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
Danny Meno Rapid Chevrolet means service. We service all makes and models, even if you didn't buy it from us. Everything from oil changes to more serious repairs. And we sell tires. We'll beat anyone's price on the same exact tires and free rotations for the life of the tires. And if you find yourself in need of some body work, our body shop is gold certified and we can put any make or model back in shape. See us at Danny Meno Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMenoRapidChevrolet.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 35. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 51. Lows level off around 27. Tomorrow night, chance for snow. Daytime highs approaching 53 Wednesday with a chance for snow changing to rain 53 Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 54 degrees.
Western style isn't stuck in the past. It's built for today. At Trav's Outfitter, we carry modern Western boots from brands you know and trust. Brands like Haier, Ariat, and Tecovas. Clean lines, broken-in comfort, and craftsmanship that fits right in, whether you're at work, out for the night, or anywhere in between. Wherever you're headed, your boots will be right there with you. Visit us in the old Kmart building. Trav's Outfitter, best selection, best service, no BS.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Let's do this. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch on the Nate Brown Show. Location in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Who's hot and who's not? Wrapping up the show in my Who's Hot category. Who else could it be? Team USA, men's hockey, winning gold for the first time since 1980. Book it. And the best part, the emotional connection, the brotherhood. Gaudreau, the player who passed away, hit by a drunk driver in 2024. His jersey, his daughters, that was big time. Team USA bringing everybody gold medal experience. That was outstanding yesterday. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not tonight, Live Golf. It's back. It's still going. You know how much money they've spent per month to keep it going? Per month. $100 million a month. I guess they have it, huh? $100 million a month to keep Live Golf going. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. The podcast going up right now. See you back here tomorrow.
President's Day sale is on at Splash City. Rest, relax, and enjoy a new sun dance or jacuzzi spa. Soothe your worries